This is who protects a millionaire. But billionaires? They're surrounded by ex-special forces, surveillance vans, even snipers. One nearly blinds paparazzi with flashlights. The other is backed by a team trained for war. From hiring ex-Navy SEALs to having security budgets that could fund a small country, I'm about to show you how the ultra-rich stay alive. Get ready as we compare the lives, tactics, and toys of the men paid to take a bullet for the 1% and the 0.01%. Some millionaires hire bodyguards to walk beside them, flex some muscle, maybe keep a few paparazzi at bay. Take Floyd Mayweather, the guy who's allergic to not flexing. His personal entourage of bodybuilders, the Money Team, looks like someone recruited an entire roster of huge WWE fighters. Their job? Stand there looking scary, occasionally shuffle paparazzi out the frame, and make sure nobody interrupts Floyd's 10th Instagram reel of the night. Then there's Drake. After a series of stalker and trespassing incidents, one where a man broke into his Toronto mansion, Bro didn't just hire bodyguards. He registered a security company to turn his Toronto crib into Fort Knox Light. Now his security team doesn't just follow him. They lock down entire blocks and sweep venues before he arrives. But billionaires face a different kind of threat. When you're worth tens of billions, it's not just about stalkers. It's about espionage and political risk. Take Jeff Bezos. After his phone was allegedly hacked via a WhatsApp message from a Saudi royal, Amazon went full Mission Impossible on his security. We're talking $1.6 million a year just to keep the guy alive. Bezos brought on Gavin de Becker and Associates, a legendary firm that handles everything from cyber forensics to physical threat detection. His team includes former CIA, NSA, and US Secret Service agents. You might think billionaires are overpaying for personal security, but honestly, can you blame them? After the December 2024 shooting of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson, the ultra-wealthy are more paranoid than ever, and they're spending like it. Take Apple's Tim Cook. In 2023 alone, Apple shelled out $820,000 to keep him protected, and another $1.62 million to keep him flying private. That's a $2.4 million tab just to make sure the world's most valuable CEO stays both productive and alive. Over at Oracle, Chairman Larry Ellison dropped $1.5 million on security for just one of his many homes. Because if your house has a helipad and a koi pond, you probably want it watched 24/7. Then there's Sundar Pichai. In 2024, Alphabet spent a jaw-dropping $8.27 million on the Google CEO's personal security, more than 3 times what they spent just a few years ago. Blame rising global tensions, increased executive visibility, and the 2018 shooting at YouTube's HQ. And it's not just the big tech guys. Across the board, the billionaire class is quietly building fortresses. Private teams, biometric scanners, 24/7 surveillance. Some of it rivals actual government-level security. Keep watching, cause I'm about to prove that. You know, when your net worth hovers near $14 billion and your list of enemies spans continents, you don't hire a bunch of bodybuilders for protection. You build a fortress. That's exactly what Roman Abramovich did. This Russian-Israeli billionaire and former Chelsea owner didn't settle for a security team. He assembled a private army of 40 elite bodyguards, making his personal protection squad the biggest of any businessman on Earth, except for someone we will discuss later. Abramovich's detail is packed with former military and special forces operatives, many with ties to top-tier units like the British SAS. Some are stationed full-time in the UK, keeping constant watch over his lavish homes in London and Sussex. Others rotate between his estates in France, his private jets, and his most prized asset, his $700 million super yacht, the Eclipse, which is practically a floating fortress. This 533-foot mega yacht was built in Germany, launched in 2010, and was once the largest in the world. The yacht has a missile detection system, bulletproof windows, armor plating, and an anti-paparazzi laser shield that detects digital cameras and blinds them with bursts of infrared light. There's a mini submarine that can dive 50 meters, 2 helipads, and even a missile defense system. Yes, an actual missile defense system. And keeping a billionaire of this level safe doesn't come cheap. Just the core team, around 40 elite operatives, can cost up to $1.5 million a year. That's already more than what most millionaires can ever dream of spending. Not everyone can afford a private army, but millionaires still play it smart. Whether it's the risk of robbery, extortion, or just the occasional bitter enemy, they know one thing: money makes you a target. So, they hire bodyguards. Not ex-Navy SEALs or Mossad operatives. That's billionaire territory. These guys are a tier down, but still seriously trained. Most come from police or military backgrounds, or they've gone through elite private security academies. They're skilled in close protection, quick escapes, and just enough hand-to-hand combat to keep things under control. And while their employers may not be global oligarchs, the threat is still real. So these bodyguards stay sharp, ready for anything. But some millionaires can't be caught being cheap with their personal safety. Just ask Jennifer Aniston. This Friends star drops a jaw-dropping $240,000 a year on personal security, putting her on the short list of celebrities with the highest-paid bodyguards in the world. And when you're one of Hollywood's most beloved stars, it makes sense you'd need someone watching your back. Since 2013, Aniston has relied on a bodyguard named Shelton, a celebrity security pro with a resume that includes Robert Pattinson, Julia Roberts, Katie Holmes, and even Tom Cruise. But even Jennifer Aniston's budget looks modest next to Katy Perry's. She reportedly spends around $350,000 a year on personal security. And her main bodyguard? Fans swear he looks like a young Hugh Jackman. After giving birth to her first child in 2020, Perry seriously tightened her security detail. Because fame is one thing, but motherhood raises the stakes. Sometimes the relationship between millionaires and their bodyguards is a little unexpected. Take Kendrick Lamar, for example. When fans in Australia spotted the 5 feet 5 inches rapper walking beside his giant bodyguard, it didn't take long for the internet to explode. TMZ posted the photo, and suddenly, people were calling them Bran Stark and Hodor. The size difference was so wild, it turned into a viral meme overnight. But the surprises don't stop at funny memes. Sometimes, things get a lot more personal. Pamela Anderson, Heidi Klum, even Kim Kardashian, each of them dated their bodyguards. And in one of the wildest twists, Princess Stephanie of Monaco didn't just date hers, she married him. Daniel Ducrouet went from protecting royalty to becoming it, after a 3-year relationship and 2 kids. But this Hollywood trope isn't the case for billionaires. Even billion-dollar women like Taylor Swift don't roll the dice on security, because when you're the most stalked celebrity on Earth, winging it isn't in the vocabulary. During her Eras tour stop in London, her bodyguard team didn't just hire extra muscle. They coordinated with British government ministers to lock down royal tier protection, complete with police outriders and blue light escorts usually reserved for heads of state. Because nothing says credible threat like needing the same motorcade protocols as a visiting prime minister. Reports indicate that Swift's security expenses are really high. While exact figures vary, some sources suggest that her bodyguards' salaries can reach up to $1 million annually. These professionals are not just for show. They accompany her during travels, manage logistics, and ensure her safety in various settings. Behind the scenes, in 2018, her team ran facial recognition at concerts without fan knowledge, quietly scanning for known stalkers. In 2024, when AI deepfakes and rumors took off, Swift's cyber team launched countermeasures, flagging threats, scrubbing misinformation, and tracking digital footprints in real time. Her concerts involve full-scale sweeps, hotel lockdowns, and decoy convoys. Every route is mapped, every movement is classified. And the cost? Easily 8 figures a year. Just the touring months alone burn through millions. Venue sweeps, hotel lockdowns, gym security, decoy cars, even threat drills. Swift is a billion-dollar brand, and every part of her life is fortified. And yet, here's the terrifying part. Swift's security is still considered mid-tier for the ultra-rich. Zuckerberg's compound has laser-triggered panic rooms. We will come back to that in a moment. But sometimes, millionaires take a hands-on approach to security. Like when NFL quarterback Tua Tagovailoa made headlines last year, warning would-be burglars to think twice before targeting his home. Because while he's on the road, his personal security team is armed and absolutely not messing around. His warning came shortly after a string of high-profile break-ins targeting NFL stars. In early October, burglars hit the homes of Chiefs players Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce within 48 hours, right when they were busy facing the Saints. Tua wasn't taking any chances. He said, "If you try it, you're not walking out the front door." On the other hand, Emma Raducanu took a very different path. After a disturbing stalker incident in Dubai just a few months ago, she didn't wait for it to happen again. Instead, she leveled up, bringing in 5 extra security guards ahead of her next tournaments. And this isn't just basic protection. Her security will be overseen by Bob Campbell, a former U.S. Secret Service agent with 2 decades of experience. I can at least understand why millionaires would care this much about security that much. But billionaires seem to prepare more for an alien invasion than real-life threats. Like Vladimir Potanin, one of Russia's richest men who built an empire on metals like nickel and palladium. His company, Norilsk Nickel, dominates the global market, and his net worth sits near $23.7 billion. It's hard to truly gather the most accurate numbers when researching these individuals. Loopholes that cannot be verified unless you are part of the Billionaire Club. If you're hooked on these stories, hit that subscribe button. Every sub fuels our mission to uncover the wildest truths and deliver videos that blow your mind. And we're just getting started. Now, back to Potanin. This billionaire doesn't flaunt his wealth, but his protection setup is elite. Former military professionals form the core of his security team. These aren't your average bodyguards. They're trained for everything from kidnappings to advanced surveillance threats. His Moscow residences are locked down with biometric scanners, motion detectors, and 24/7 surveillance. Every square inch is monitored, every angle is covered. And it doesn't stop there. Potanin understands that in today's world, digital threats can be just as dangerous as physical ones. So he's got cybersecurity experts on constant watch, tracking communications, securing financial transactions, and making sure nobody can sneak into his network. He's never alone. Whether by jet, yacht, or armored car, his team moves with him. His $300 million super yacht, Nirvana, tagged as blocked property by the U.S. State Department, isn't just a floating palace. It's a fortress at sea, equipped with state-of-the-art security systems. His private jet is just as secure, loaded with encrypted comms and stealth capabilities to avoid being tracked. This Russian oligarch's entire security apparatus runs like a military operation, efficient, invisible, and always alert. And that all sounds intense, but it's nothing compared to what Mark Zuckerberg is doing right now. The Meta CEO and multi-billionaire is one of the most heavily protected people on the planet. In 2023 alone, Meta approved a staggering $14 million just for his personal security. And that's in addition to the $13.4 million they'd already spent the year before. Toss in private jets and travel logistics, and Meta dropped over $25 million just to keep Zuckerberg safe in a single year. That's nearly 9 times what Amazon spends protecting Jeff Bezos, and far more than the budget of some small countries. And we're not just talking a few bodyguards. He's flanked by armed security 24/7. His homes? Outfitted with panic rooms, bullet-resistant glass, and hidden escape routes. Even Meta's headquarters has panic buttons installed, all part of a sprawling defense setup meant to shield the man behind some of tech's most polarizing moves. There isn't a single moment he's left alone. And every year, that budget climbs higher, Because when you're the public face of digital privacy scandals, global misinformation, and a metaverse no one asked for, money alone doesn't buy safety. Protection is power. And here's the wild part. It's not just business billionaires building fortresses. Celebrity billionaires, and even some A-listers who aren't, might have it even worse. One of the biggest myths about bodyguards? That bodyguards need to look like they bench press SUVs for fun. Sure, millionaire celebrities often hire the biggest, most intimidating figures they can find, but that's usually more about optics than actual protection. Just look at Pascal Duvier, the 6'4", 250-pound German bodyguard who used to shadow Kim Kardashian. He was everywhere. Red carpets, runways, viral photos. But in 2016, when Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in her Paris hotel room, Duvier wasn't there. He was reportedly with her sisters at a nightclub. The result? $10 million in stolen jewelry, a traumatized client, and a $6.1 million negligence lawsuit. What really matters in this line of work is perception, diplomacy, and solid communication skills. Speaking multiple languages? That's a major plus. As long as they're fit and alert, size doesn't matter nearly as much as people think. And being a bodyguard isn't just about standing around looking tough. Depending on the client and the threat level, they might also be the driver, the one checking for bugs and hidden devices, or the person mapping out an entire security plan before their client steps into a building. Now let's take a look at how these pros usually show up. Millionaires roll in armored SUVs like the Cadillac Escalade or BMW X5 Security Plus, bulletproof windows, run-flat tires, and a first aid kit from CVS. With bodyguards packing Glock 19 and maybe a taser if they're feeling spicy. But billionaires? Their cars are literal tanks with leather seats. Take the Mercedes-Maybach S650 Guard VR10 rated armor, oxygen tanks for gas attacks, and electromagnetic pulse shielding, so even hackers can't ruin their schedule. Now, let's look SpaceX billionaire considers a fitting security. Elon Musk doesn't just have bodyguards. He's built a real-life Iron Man security system codenamed Voyager. Picture this. Up to 20 elite operatives, some packing heat, others packing medical kits, all orbiting the world's most unpredictable billionaire 24/7. But here's the twist. Half of them aren't even obvious. While the visible muscle trails him at events, the real pros blend in as engineers or PR staff, complete with security clearances higher than most Pentagon employees. These aren't your average bouncers. We're talking ex-special forces, private military contractors, and even a few deputized U.S. Marshals who can legally throw hands if things go south. Then there's the tech. His protection includes a Tesla Cybertruck armored vehicle serving as a mobile bunker, tested under simulated urban warfare conditions. Even his travel routes get algorithmically optimized to dodge protests, cyber attacks, and who knows what else. Before he steps foot anywhere, advance teams sweep venues like they're defusing bombs. Because for Musk, every public appearance is a potential combat zone. The price tag? Millions per year, bankrolled by Tesla. But when you're a billionaire who picks fights with everyone from the SEC to entire governments, overkill is just the baseline. Most CEOs settle for a couple of ex-cops and a panic button. Musk? He's out here assembling a private army with better tech than the actual military. The lesson? Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a security detail that makes the Pentagon jealous. And that's a wrap. But what you just watched took over 15 hours to write, verify, and build. If you want more stories built like that, not recycled headlines, subscribing helps us make that happen. For more deep dives into the fascinating lives of the rich, famous, and infamous, click on the next video here. See you on the other one.